This is Kat,
And this is Saskia,
and this is Note to Self.
your weekly dose of everything that's just simply too long to text. What's up?
Okay, I need to jump right into this.
Go. Oh my God, I'm ready.
Okay, because something really crazy happened over the weekend, and I've been dying to tell you.
Girl, Kat walked into my apartment and I had a sense you needed to I thought we needed to chat about something else, and then
No,
Kat,
I've
you
been
just
really.
holding in the story.
You have no idea. I was like, I've gone to text this to you multiple times.
Stop. Oh my God. Wait, I'm living. Go.
Okay,
Living for this.
If this does not land, then I have just been in my own head for too many days. Okay. Do you remember a few weeks ago when I told you about the Pogo Stick Man?
Yes.
Okay. So for people who have not listened to this, I went on 2 dates many moons ago with a man who had a pogo stick in his apartment. Yes, I know that should have been a red flag. Yes, I understand. Okay, let's just move past that. And then I decided to go on a second date with him, but he had completely forgot that he had booked my date with another date at the same time and same place. So he had
What?
double booked the
An
date.
idiot.
And we're both, me and this other date are there at the same time. Anyway.
And he kind of freaks out, doesn't manage it well, and Kat has to go and tell the other woman what has happened because this man does not know how to communicate.
No.
Only a man with a pogo stick would react like that.
That's truly, it should have been a red flag. It was a red flag. Who do I run into over the weekend while he's on another date?
Stop.
Yeah. And he's at the bar and he's ordering food. And I just recognize him, and he has a very distinctively low, deep voice.
Okay.
You could pick him out in a lineup. Not that he's going to be in a lineup.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
And I just looked around and I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, how do I manage this? And then he came back to pick up his food from the bar. And I looked at him. I go, you don't remember me, do you?
What did he do? What did I hate that?
He was like, and I was like, remember when you had double booked a date and you had forgotten? He was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You should have fucked with him and said, we're meant to be on a date right now.
I honestly, usually I kind of do fuck with people sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
With that. And he was like, oh my God. And he scrambled away.
Stop.
Scurried away, scrambled.
He didn't say anything? He just said, oh my God, and scurried away.
Scurried away.
What?
And then he comes back 10 minutes later, and respect for this, he goes, honestly, I just want to apologize that happened. I was in a really fucked up place back then.
Good.
And I was like, wow, thank you.
That honestly is pretty good.
I know.
To come back, clearly he does not like confrontation, but that's respect. Pogo Stick Guy.
Stick.
May have gone from a red to a yellow.
And nope, he's still a red. Just thank you for giving him that much grace. But he was on another date. So for him to come back to the bar, and then this is why he is still a red flag. I was like, no, I really appreciate you saying that. It takes, you didn't have to. I go, you also gave me a lot of material to talk about your pogo stick in general. And he was like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, that got confiscated.
No.
Here's the words. My pogo stick got confiscated.
By who?
He was throwing I think his neighbors.
What?
I was losing it laughing. I think he was saying that he had thrown a party, and that, if I remember, his neighbors confiscated his pogo stick. I was like, confiscated, so you're a student. You had your phone out in class.
Yeah. Did they confiscate it? Did they steal it? Did they give you an ultimatum? What do you mean confiscated?
I go,
it
are you
sounds
getting
like
it
you're
back?
a child. Yeah.
I was like, do you get to just pass a slip to them for you to return it?
Yeah, I've done my detention. Can I have my pogo stick back?
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. And I had tears coming out, streaming down my face, laughing at this. And then he goes, so anyway, you on a date? And I go, yes, I'm with my long-term boyfriend. He's like, oh, no worries. Yeah, no worries. All right.
No.
While he's on a date with someone else.
What?
I know.
This man is insane. No, back to red flag.
Insane.
Yep. Sorry, ma'am.
Insane.
What? So you were with Joe?
Yeah.
Was Joe next to you when you're having this discussion?
He was so the first time when I recognized him, I was like, Joe, you'll never believe it. And then he approached when Joe was in the bathroom or something to apologize.
That seems weirdly specific.
That seems very calculated.
Especially because he then asked you out.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude, you seriously
Yep.
think you would say, yeah, tell you what, sir, you fucked up our second date and double booked me and you have a pogo stick. You think I'm going to go on another date with you? You just told me the pogo stick was confiscated.
There's not even anything to talk about.
I was honestly thinking, for a second, I thought you were going to say you saw him in Williamsburg just like bopping down the street on the pogo stick. I would have fucking lost my goddamn mind.
I have thought about if I saw him like pogo sticking.
What you would do.
Yeah.
I'd push him off it.
I mean, they're pretty quick.
You could push someone off a pogo stick. They're not that fast.
If I saw someone pogo sticking, I would assume it was him. But now that it's been confiscated,
who knows? Who's riding
Who's
that?
bouncing on the pogo stick? Who's riding the pogo stick?
Can you go that fast?
I think we should.
In my head, I feel I can walk faster than one of those. They're so heavy.
They're very, very heavy. But this was like a weekend of just like bizarre people coming out of the woodworks. Because remember, so Saskia and I were at dinner on Friday night, and I got a message from someone from the last correspondence I had with them was 2021. And it was so...
It's so weird, like out of nowhere.
And it just said, "Good night, cat."
So creepy.
It was creepy.
It's creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, you had a weird weekend. I mean, I even ran into one of your old interests. I haven't told you
What?
this.
How's it? Wait, did
I ran into good old Paul Rudd on Saturday night.
Oh my god! Please don't
I
make me
almost
sweat.
debated retelling Kat's embarrassing Paul Rudd story, which, for, again, those listeners who have not heard it, is essentially her not really reading the room at one time when she met Paul at her local dive bar.
We're not on a first name basis. I think
Paul Rudd, where she continued to... Let's say she was trying to tell a joke about there not being tampons in the women's bathroom.
I just
the
wouldn't
joke
shut up.
didn't hit, and she kept doubling down.
I just wouldn't shut up about tampons.
And then him and his friends decided to leave the bar.
Yep. And it was the first time they'd been back to that bar in 10 years, and I think it will be another 10 years.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to risk seeing the tampon girl again.
Oh!
Girl, So
where did you see my love?
My love. We were at a restaurant in Cobble Hill. He lives around that area, obviously. A little Italian spot for Jeffrey's really good friend's birthday. And he was sitting in the corner with another Jeffrey recognized a news anchor. So they were in the corner. We were in like a really long table. And the woman's birthday, she has two sons who are like, I think they're like 15 and 17. But the 15-year-old is like a huge Paul Rudd fan.
Oh my gosh, aren't we all?
And we were like the only person who can go up and interrupt a celeb like during dinner is like a kid, right? Like he's 14, I think. So it's like no one else could do it. Like if we did it, they'd be like, "Come on, you can't do that, right?"
If I did it, he'd call security.
He'd be like, "Tampon girl's back! Tampon girl's back!" You can be like, "Paul, they actually are tampons in this restaurant."
I checked, and I do not need to, double down on it this time because I checked for us.
I know you think about it now. Every restaurant, your bar you go to, so I'm here to tell you.
Like, thank God I've had Botox under my arms because I am like my body temperature has risen.
PTSD. So, anyways, the 14-year-old we're like convincing, we're like, go up and talk to him. Like, you should say something. He's so nervous though, as you are. And finally,
I feel that.
Yeah. A 14-year-old and Kat. Jeffrey goes up to him and he's like, "Do you want to speak to him?" And he's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Do you really want to speak to him?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Well, go and do it." He's like, "Okay, I'm going to." And then Jeffrey sits down and then out of nowhere, he gets up, just beelines over and just goes, "Hi, Paul, I'm a really big fan. Can we please get a picture?" And Paul was so sweet. He calls Jeffrey over though. And this kid has a Google phone. And Jeffrey isn't good with technology on the best of days. So Jeffrey's like this old man. He's like, "I can't work out the Google phone."
I wouldn't be able to work out a Google phone.
I mean, I think you could. Actually,
no,
I don't think
no,
you could.
No.
So Jeffrey's like having to get the child to like help him with the photo. Paul's like half standing up. It's one of those photos, you know, when you're like half sitting, half standing.
Yep.
But he's like got his arm around, or like kind of around, but not too much around, you know. And then my friend's kid was like wearing a football jersey of, I guess, the team that is the competitor to Paul's team. I don't know anything about American football, but they made some like football joke. Oh. I know, it was very cute, and he was so excited. And then I saw him, he was messaging all his friends going like, I was shaking, my heart is racing, this was the greatest moment. They're like, what was he like? He's like, so nice.
He is so nice.
It literally broke my heart, because do you remember that excitement as a child? Like, obviously, you clearly still get it now.
I was like, yes, as a child.
Yeah, happened to you a few years ago. No, I mean, I still get it with, you know, an actor or whatever that I love. But as a kid, it feels different, where you're like, oh my God.
It's like giddy.
I just got a picture. You know, you're so excited about that.
Oh my God, remember the days of autographs, though?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I feel like I had a few random autographs. I had a Kylie Minogue autograph, I remember. Because she came to my uncle and aunt's property up in the Daintree. They had a tourism business, and I had her CD, and she signed it all for us, because she came in and met all of us kids.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Okay, so I guess we've all had a weekend of just our past come back to haunt us.
I think Kat's past has come back to haunt her in all facets of your life. Through me now too.
Yes.
I immediately thought of you and was like, man, I really want to get a picture and send it to you.
Oh my
God.
God.
I was like, I can't get a picture of this man.
No, I would have lost my goddamn mind. So we've had a weekend of haunting.
He really is gorgeous.
Yes, he is.
Like,
yes.
Gorgeous.
Yes. Time has been kind.
Time has been more than kind. That man doesn't age. Speaking of what doesn't age.
But okay, speaking of being haunted, I have been thinking nonstop about our ghost stories, because we wanted to tell them when it was light outside. Jokes. It's dark.
It's dark again. And we were not prepared the last time we brought this up to talk about it.
I got the like heebie-jeebies.
Same.
I've been thinking about you saying that you have a lot from when you were younger. Considering that your earliest childhood memory was 2 years old.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of content.
I know. And I am locked in, because I started to think about my ghost stories, and I just started to spiral.
Stop. If I'm sharing mine, you have to share yours.
Okay.
Tell me mine and I'll tell you yours.
Go.
Yeah. So, okay, I thought about it, and I think one of the biggest things for me has been growing up, and it wasn't in the property in the far north Queensland. Where I spent most of my childhood was in Townsville, and we lived with my grandmother, and she had this beautiful old Queenslander house. Queenslanders are very common homes in Australia. They're like wood, very open. Just Google them for those who don't know it. It's like it's a style of house in Queensland. Really creative with that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Queensland. Really well done.
Queensland.
Snapped.
Nailed it. And the house was very old. And I remember pretty much my entire childhood growing up there, like throughout primary school and high school. I always had this feeling of being watched.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know anything different. So I didn't know it was not normal until I moved out and moved to Brisbane and lived in residence, and was like, oh, I don't have the creepy feeling that I'm being watched anymore.
Wait, how old were you when this was happening? Started?
Like 6.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
I always remember. But the thing is, I also was raised by people who were very spiritual. So they were like, there's spirits in the house, and, you know, don't be scared of them. And my grandmother's friends who are very spiritual would like come over, and they would say there's a lot of spirits in this house. And there were certain areas of the house that not just me, but like me and all my cousins did not like to go near. We were like terrified of it. And when I left home, I remember realizing that I didn't have this feeling anymore. And whenever I'd go back on my, university breaks, I'd start to have that same feeling of being watched. Yeah, it's so fucking creepy. And it was so hard. I couldn't place what it was until I was older, that it was, the feeling of someone behind me all the time. So I never liked to have my back to like open space. I always wanted to have my back along the wall. So like when I'd go to the bathroom at night, my room was right here. I'd literally turn the lights off and go like run, but backwards with my back against the wall into my bedroom. So chaotic. But the most like I saw ghost stories, which is one that now everyone in our family knows this story because I was 16 years old. I was sitting in my room. I was studying for my chemistry exam.
Just got like a shiver.
You're so freaking me out so much. I was studying for my chemistry exam. I distinctly remember, like, I had my book here. I was, writing away, and I was in my school uniform. And it must have been like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was still light out. And the sun was setting, and I had my AC on. I just like remember it so clearly. And I had my desk at like looking out the window, and my bed was in the corner, and to the side of me was my closet. And I remember kind of seeing out of the corner of my left eye a little boy. And it was like I knew he was there, but I wasn't processing it. And I remember he was, a little boy. He was in black and white, which was what was so strange. Like, I just distinctly remember he was in black and white. And I've seen ghosts before after this, and they weren't in black and white. It was very weird. And he was in what looked like the old version of our school uniforms for the kids. Like the high socks, the little wide brim hat. He truly was in this like older uniform. And I kind of like, I remember what he was wearing, I remember his little face, and he was just kind of standing there. And then I was like, wait, hold up. It's like my brain caught up to what I was kind of seeing. And then I was like, wait, what? And did like a double take, and he was gone.
Oh my, I have goosebumps.
I burst into tears, ran out of the room. I was so fucking scared. But what was so weird is I was never scared in that room. Like, I never felt scared in the room. I was scared of what happened, but like I never got a bad feeling in that room.
Oh my God.
Which is kind of weird when you see a ghost, which makes me think that like it wasn't something negative. It was just, well, I actually think it was my future child.
Well, okay. Okay. I was waiting for some like curveball.
Yeah, right. I've had like a reading done. She's like, you have this little boy around you all the time. And she thinks that it's my future child. And I was like, I saw a boy when I was 16 years old.
I used to see a little boy.
What?
Yep.
No.
Yep. I shit you not. I used to see a little boy. So I don't know if we were
Was
all
he in
reading...
black and white?
No, but he was always like, so in my bedroom, when I was older, I moved into another bedroom in my childhood house. So the one when I was a lot younger, nothing really happened in that bedroom. But I moved into what was my brother's bedroom, and there was always some movement to the right of the bed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
And then I was like, what is happening? And then I spoke to a bunch of like woo-woo spiritual people, and they're like, oh yeah, that's his closet that he was playing in.
Wait, what do you mean? Sorry. What do you mean movement? And what do you mean his closet
Like
he was playing in?
The floorboards would creak.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't see him, but I was like, that's a little boy.
So there was
just
a boy
sense
who
it.
lived here previously.
Yeah.
That was where his closet was.
Apparently.
Did he die in the house or something?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that. But there was always in that area, like creaking of the floorboards. And I could just sense it was like a little person.
Yeah.
And then like nothing threatening, just it was very bizarre. And there was always just like, it felt very like not an invisible wall, but there was just some kind of like barrier.
Presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone was like, that's, a little boy.
Who said that to you?
I went to a few psychics.
No fucking
And they
way.
all said the same thing.
No.
And I was very, very specific about only like giving very vague information because I didn't want them to like run with.
Yeah, well, how would they know it's a little boy?
Right.
But it's the fact that all three of them said it.
Yep.
Because one could just say it being like, oh, it's a
Yes.
little boy. But then three said it? Like,
Yep.
That's a specific thing to
And
say.
two of them had said that's at the closet.
That's
And there was not a closet there.
so weird. That's so weird.
Yep.
Dude, that's what I mean though, is like, so these are things that happened to us as kids. And like, I had other scenarios throughout this house where I said hello to my grandmother, thinking it was my grandmother, and no one was there.
Yes.
And then I've had a few instances as an adult that have been like very visceral. But I think as a kid, I always was like, oh, I'm seeing it as a kid. But to be honest, I think what I did is when I left home, I shut it down.
Yeah.
Because I realized that if I just said to myself, I don't want to see anything, I don't want to see anything, I don't want to see anything, I didn't see anything.
It's so crazy. But I think when I was a kid in that house, like I saw a grandma standing at my door who was apparently protecting the little boy.
Are we the same person? I see a little boy and a grandma too.
Well, did we all just read like a childhood book when we were like
just
18 months? And you were like, all of us like, we saw this grandma and a little boy.
Did you ever see a grandpa? Because I saw like an older man once sitting on our couch, and I was like 21, and my mom and I were the only ones home, and I was walking to her room, and I saw him sitting on the couch, like leg crossed, you know, when you put your foot like on your ankle kind of thing, on your knee like that. And I walked in and I was like, I just saw a man sitting on the couch, like leaning back with his like, you know, sat like that. And my mom's like, that's how my father used to sit.
Wait, this is wild. I did not see that, but my mom used to always get whiffs of cigar smoke. No. And my grandpa used to smoke cigar. I mean, everyone did back then, but she was like always in that living room. You would get a whiff.
Weird.
And I never got that. And my mom, you know, she's not one to.
No, her mom is very like. Like your mom's like an academic. Like,
yes.
She's so specific. She would not be someone that like my mom I'd expect it.
Yeah.
But
my mom is very airy. Not the woo woo.
Yeah, not woo woo at all. And that is so interesting. Your mom saw that
Isn't
too.
it wild?
Did your mom have any experiences when she was going through her health stuff?
She got very spiritual like during her health stuff. And she saw a psychic when she was really unwell. And just, I was like, I'm actually very proud of you.
Yeah.
You know, leaning into this, you know, because I was like, she's, very regimented, I suppose. And very academic. So it's not very much like her to explore something spiritual that she would pay money for.
True. Yeah. But it gives you a sense of like hope in a way too. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So it makes me wonder, I have thought about it. It makes me wonder if she was getting or seeing more spirits, or like she was allowing herself to kind of open up to that world more.
I wondered that too. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
For context, we don't need to go into the details, but Kat's mom had a health issue a few years ago. She's okay.
Yeah.
Just so people know.
She's good.
We won't leave her.
She's very good.
They're like, wait, is she okay? We're like, no, she's with us.
She's actually much better.
She's actually right here. She's our ghost guest.
She is. She's actually doing the AV.
The AV. Oh my God. Love you, Kat's mom. That's super interesting because sometimes that does happen when people are going through health scares. Like they often are called to it, or they start to see more things.
Yep.
Because I think the reason I was asking was like the kind of third story I wanted to tell, which was the most recent, was when my grandmother died. And when she passed, I was very close to my grandmother. For context, like my family, we lived with her and looked after her because she was sick with Parkinson's. So I pretty much spent my whole childhood growing up with her. She was like a second mother. So she died of Parkinson's in 2016. Oh my gosh, so I had been here about a year. Mm-hmm. My mom and sister were actually visiting me. And we were all sleeping in this room together. And like I had known when I left to move to New York, I knew I was saying goodbye to her. I just like knew it in my bones. Every part of me knew I would not see her again.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I got really sick before I moved to New York. They thought I had influenza, like all this stuff. They couldn't figure it out because all the tests were negative. And finally, my childhood doctor was like, I think you're just heartbroken.
Oh my God.
I know, it was so sad. And I kept...
Okay. Just your doorbell going off as we're talking about fucking ghosts.
This really scared me.
It really scared the shit out of me.
It really scared me too, to be honest. Also, I'm pretty sure that's an Amazon package that I have to go get.
Go.
Okay, so where was I? So I had this like, when I was leaving to move to New York, I just kept thinking of like saying goodbye to her. And it was just this vision I had in my head. And when I said goodbye to her, like, it was very much the final goodbye, which was actually so beautiful in a way because a lot of people don't get that.
Exactly.
Like I got to say goodbye to her when she was very lucid and super present. Like she was very mentally with it until the very end pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, like Parkinson's was kind of wild how it didn't really affect her mentally until like the very, very end. So I had always said to her, even as a kid, I said, if you ever leave, I want you to visit me. Like, you have to visit me. I would always say that. And when I left her, I was like, please come to me. Like, please come to me. And she believed in spirits. And she said she would like astral travel and her meditations and stuff.
God.
She was the most amazing woman. You would have loved her. And the night she died, we knew she had kind of gone downhill. And we were, sleeping in my apartment in New York. Mom was next to me. Lily was on like a blow up mattress. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like half awake, half asleep. And I like saw her in the doorway of my room. This was my old apartment in Chinatown with my friend that I lived with. And I was in her room because she was away at the time. And my grandmother was like in the doorway and she like came towards me. And it sounds like so cliche, but there was lights everywhere. It was just so many lights. And I remember she was saying, again, it's very cliche, but it was truly what she said. She's like, I'm like leaving. And I was like, it's okay for you to go. And she was holding my hand. Oh my God. I know, dude.
Goosebumps.
And then she left and I woke up and this was the craziest fucking shit. My arm was outside the bed, out of the blankets, in the air, holding, like grasping, like I was grasping someone's hand. Dude, yeah. It was fucking crazy. Wasn't scared at all. I was just like, I woke up in the morning and we found out she had passed. And that's when it came to me. Cause I was like, oh my God, wait, I had the craziest thing happen last night. It didn't like, when you wake up and you don't always immediately remember.
Yes. That is wild and beautiful.
It was so beautiful. And what's so crazy is since having this experience, I've listened to a few like podcasts and interviews of people who have done research into near-death experiences. And they say that a lot of people who they've interviewed who've had near-death experiences, when they were about to die, they dreamt they were hovering over their family and like visiting their family, and they were doing that. So they were like visiting their family before they were dying. Oh. And then they obviously they don't die. So they're able to share this experience, but she was about to die. And I think she came to me. And I truly think, because this story is like countless. There's countless accounts of this happening to people.
That is like, I'm not surprised, but I also just, ugh.
It's crazy. And the other crazy thing is, similar thing happened to a friend of mine. We lost someone who was close to us like 2 years ago. And the night it happened, she visited her before she died.
What?
She came to her. She was in the hotel room and she said, I want you to look after my daughter.
Oh my God.
This was a friend of ours and she was asking her. My friend was with her daughter at the time and she got very sick unexpectedly, ended up in hospital. And she came to my friend in the middle of the night and said, I'm not coming back. I'm okay. I need you to look after my daughter. And same thing, coming to her the night before, and then she died the next day.
Okay. Thank God I'm not pumped up with hormones anymore, because I'd be bawling my eyes out. I have goosebumps.
Same. I get full goosebumps with this stuff.
I feel really bad for people who don't believe in this. Like,
me too. Because like, there's real shit here.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think that there can be this many people that have had such a similar experience. I didn't know anyone that had had this experience until I went and started. Even like, I think it was like a few years ago, I was listening to this podcast and I was mouth dropped when I could not believe the amount of people that had shared this. And what's so fascinating is when you hear it from people who've had near-death experiences.
I want to go down that rabbit hole.
You should. It is so interesting. The box behind Kat just like creaked.
Oh my God.
It's fine. We're okay.
I got my bees.
My grandmother's here. She'll always protect us. But yeah, when you listen to the near-death experiences, it's so fascinating because you have these people, some people that have happened to that are like straighty 180, super scientific. One guy who I love, who was a scientist and has never like believed in this type of stuff, is now like a full, like there's spirits out there. We have energy. Like he's totally it's different. It's totally changed for him ever since his near-death experience. And what happened for him was, like 2 days before he died, he had that like memory or a dream of being above his family and seeing them, and then it was crazy. 2 days later he had nearly died.
That is fascinating, especially the people who have had near-death experiences. And it's just like, I mean, luckily you and I had like grew up in an environment where, ghosts aren't necessarily always out to haunt you or scare you.
Totally.
Like, my dad is very spiritual as well, and he's like, they come and visit. Everything's fine. But as a kid, when you're like seeing all these things and you don't even know how to kind of relay them verbally, that is why you always trust your intuition.
Totally. And I think we actually all have the gift to be able to see things, but society tells us to shut that down. And it tells us that ghosts are scary. And like, it's the pop culture of like, it's scary. So I think that's where the fear comes into it. I think also it's the unknown, but I do think that because we had parents that told us that it's okay, that we probably saw more shit than other people.
Why didn't we listen to Casper the Friendly Ghost? Friendly. Right? Emphasis on friendly. But to your point, it's the fear of the unknown. And I think anything in the bedroom that's your safe space. And it can feel quite invasive when you can feel,
Totally. Like energy that you're just not ready or expecting.
Yeah.
And you don't understand it. And I think if you can be with kids and say, because kids say some crazy shit and they do see stuff.
Yeah.
Like I remember my older sister, when I was a baby, one of my dad's, my half sisters from my dad's first marriage, she actually died, my sister. So when I was a baby, my other sister, God, my family's very confusing to the listeners. I have a few older sisters from my dad's previous marriage, but she said she saw my sister Verena, who had passed, like standing above my crib. She was like, Verena's upstairs with Saskia. And like she came downstairs and said that. She was like 10 years. No, she would have been 8 because we're 8 years apart. Isn't that crazy? Like there's so many, there's just so many stories of these things. I've seen stuff that it just.
And the specificity around what some like kids especially are describing. And no wonder, people don't believe when they're older because, society and some adults are like, oh, don't be silly. That's just,
it's just your imagination.
Imaginary friend.
It's so fucking true. It's so true. And I think if you could be a little bit more, like, what are you seeing,
Yeah.
and like,
what do you talk about?
Encourage it. Yeah.
Where do you see them?
Exactly.
God, see, when I started thinking about, after we spoke about it, I was like thinking about all the times that I have seen or felt, a ghost or something, a spirit. And then I was like, wait a second. Is this just my sleep paralysis demon? And I sat there and like I got into a mental pretzel. I was like, was it a spirit? Or was it my sleep paralysis demon? Good, bad, good, bad, bad, good. And I went down this rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, dude. Every time you say sleep paralysis demon, I think of Big Mouth, the cartoon and the crazy, weird creatures. Like, I think of that as like your sleep paralysis demon.
It's not far off, to be honest.
I could see that for you. Like, I could so see what are they called? Your puberty monster? Is that what they call them in Big Mouth? Yep. I could see yours being that real haggard one.
Yeah, just a little mangy. Yeah. Like, all right. It's like, stop using up all the hot water. Just a little mangy, and it's like not really scary. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
like
I could
shower.
Definitely see that. Oh my gosh.
Like has not once brushed its fur.
Yeah, it doesn't care.
No,
it's like whatever. Got a stick in it.
Yeah,
it's there for good.
Just like gum.
But it is like, yeah, it's crazy to sometimes think. I don't know. I think I've now that I kind of shut it down, but I do still get feelings like what you were just saying, where like I do feel certain times that I know something's there.
Well, it's crazy that you had said that you always felt something watching or a presence behind you, because I always felt like something was behind me.
In your childhood house?
Yeah. And even like mainly my childhood house, but like sometimes just in random places.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I tell you what I always found shocking is I've never really felt it in my New York apartments. Which is weird because these buildings are so old. This one is the most I've felt it in. But like, yeah, that back room we don't like.
We don't like that.
But like, I haven't felt it as much as I thought I would have. Mm-hmm. And also probably because I'm shut it down.
Shut it down. No, you have your $300 African rock.
I put it outside. I don't know if you noticed.
Well, I didn't stub my toe on it this time, so yes.
Yeah, I put it outside when I stubbed my toe on it and was like, this is enough.
This is too much. But this is, I mean, when I started thinking about it, and this is, I guess, when you don't know if your mind is playing tricks on you, because then that night I was like, oh my God, are there spirits in here? But I think I was just in my own head about it so much.
As soon as you freak out about it, then it just, you spiral.
Yep.
I sometimes do that if I'm home alone and I spiral, convinced that like there's something here, and then I have to just be like, you have to stop.
Yes.
And I do this little thing where I pretend to put a bubble around me, and then I'm like, I call in my spirit guides and my guardian angels and my ancestors, and I'm like, protect me, and then I go to sleep.
That's actually very sweet. Oh, I've heard
It's like a real thing. I think about myself being on a lily pad, and then the lily pad is connected to the mud. So it's like pulling me to earth. And then I put like a bubble around the lily pad.
Okay, well, that's fucking magical. That sounds like really nice. That's
what do you do?
Definitely that. Exactly that. Mine's very gentle and magical like that. It's not like a swamp.
You're like, I'm in the mud, and the mud is like holding me to the ground.
I'm holding your lily pad.
Yeah. I'm the one pulling you down.
You're like, this is so nice. This is just bliss. Well, shit. God. I mean, I want to know like how many other people have ghost stories or like spirit stories, and if like we've just gotten older and we're so exhausted from life, or we just decide that we don't have time.
I would love to hear if people have stories when this episode comes out. Please message us on social because I am so intrigued.
Yes, I need to know.
And there's so many out there, and I think there's lots of. It's interesting because there are crossovers a lot of the times, but I'm just very intrigued.
It's wild that you and I had very similar experiences.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily surprised as well.
I know.
I feel like we're so different, but we have a lot of similarities as well. So yeah, it makes sense. Oh my God, loved the ghost episode. Here for it.
God.
Well, I know pivoting to something else, and as we always do, therapy. But I think, so this episode is going to be coming out on Thanksgiving, and I was thinking a lot about Thanksgiving and, family dynamics, and how like, I feel like oftentimes in this period, and you hear it all over social, is just like the family dynamics, the bringing up old patterns, the unresolved stuff. And my therapist and I were talking about like the idea of apologizing. And she asked me like, what does an apology mean to me? And I had been thinking and sitting with it a little bit. And I think an apology is something that doesn't take a lot for an individual. It shouldn't take a lot for an individual, but it does. And, I think it's less about, I think for so often I didn't want to say sorry for things because it felt like I was like admitting I'm wrong, right?
Right. Okay.
And I also think that as I'm getting older, it's like it's okay to admit you're wrong.
Yeah.
And also saying sorry is less about blame and more about care.
And accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to necessarily mean you're wrong. Like sometimes you're unintentionally doing something to hurt someone, but you're taking, like you said, accountability, and you're caring for that person by giving them something that, I'm sorry, doesn't cost a lot. Like me saying it right now, it doesn't cost a lot, but if it can take so much to do.
Well, I think it's also like psychological safety. You have to be saying it or in an environment where you feel safe enough to do it, where that other person is not going to take it and run with it.
That's true. But like, why is it that we struggle so much? I guess there is the safety element, but I think it's because it feels sometimes like you're admitting defeat.
So we're all stubborn.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you think about it, it really isn't a lot. But then my therapist made a good point where she was like, an apology doesn't always have to mean I'm sorry. And she's like, an apology can be like, an olive branch.
Yeah.
Like it could be a small gift, just like an act of like, I still care. And I had actually not always thought about it that way. Like when she said it, it kind of hit me. But now I'm like, well, clearly I obviously have thought that, because there's been times when like someone has apologized to me through a different way, but I don't always think to that maybe reaching out is a way of saying I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, think about the different ways we just kind of apologize to like express empathy. If someone's sick, you say, I'm sorry. Or, someone's caught in traffic. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. It's like a form of empathy, not necessarily that you're in the wrong.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
I guess like the question that I had answered myself, but like, what does an apology mean to you?
I think it's just accountability, recognizing what has happened in order to minimize the frequency of it happening in the future.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that.
Because there's some people that are like, oh, it'll never happen again. I was like, never say never.
Right.
But I think recognizing the impact and like taking steps to minimize the frequency or intensity of something.
Yeah.
But if someone's just a fucking asshole,
Yeah. Sorry's not going to cut it.
Or like a sarcastic sorry. Ooh.
I hate a sarcastic sorry. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, if you're going to say it, be grounded in how you're saying it. Or just don't say it at all.
But I also used to be similar to you where I was like, unless I got the words I am sorry, I just would not think that I was apologized to. But it comes down to love languages.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Yeah. Because I had written something down about that where it's like you have different apology languages.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But it's so true. Like there can be verbal, but then there's also gift giving. There's quality time,
physical touch.
Like, I don't know what the other ones are, but those do apply to your apology language. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating. I had not thought about it until today when I was like just thinking about this topic a little bit. I was like, oh, like it's like love languages.
And mine like fluctuates depending on the situation and where I'm at. Like sometimes, getting someone a treat that I know that they'll like.
That's so true.
Yeah. Or sometimes, it depends on the situation. But, if someone's having a rough day, like I'm sorry that they're having a rough day. It doesn't mean that I'm, apologizing or being like, oh, I'm the cause of it. Or sometimes I am, but it depends on the situation.
Do you think you're good at apologizing then?
Depends on
the situation.
Yeah, it does. Usually I can just be like, oh yeah, all good. Yeah, my bad. I apologize. But other times I'm like, wait a fucking minute, motherfucker. Shit.
I think it's also the person.
Oh yeah.
I think that apologies are harder with family and your partner.
Oh.
But like so much easier with your friends.
There are so many times where I can just start to see myself getting riled up, and it's almost like I can see myself from the outside and I just can't stop it. I can't stop it. And I'm just like, and Joe and I have had this conversation, and it's like, why should we take it out on the person that we feel the most comfortable with?
We shouldn't, but
we shouldn't, but we do.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's bad because then it's like, then we get resentful, seeing how, the patience that maybe other people display or each other displays to other people. And we're like so hot-headed sometimes. Not for like 30 seconds. They're like, I love you so much.
For sure. I mean, everyone's like this. I mean, Jeffrey gets annoyed at me sometimes because he's like, I feel like you value your friends' opinions more than mine. And that was a real thing. I was like, well, they're kind of amazing. What can I say? But I did have to reflect on that. I think recently I shared with him, I was like, I think that you likely are right there. And it's not intentional. And I have learned to value your opinion so much. But like, I never have had a man that I could rely on.
Yeah.
So in terms of dating. So I don't rely on you because I've never had that. I've always relied on my friends. My friends and my family being the people I've relied on.
The most consistent.
Most consistent. So it feels, it's like, I think that's why it's like I've had to really change the way I act because I'm like, I need to rely on him more. Like he's my person and I should value his opinions and I do. I don't know how we got here. I think it was around saying sorry. Yeah. And I mean, coming with that is around saying sorry. And I think it is something that I have gotten, I think, better at. But
I think like just getting older and particularly hanging around like I think our friendship circles and who we choose to spend our time with is so valuable because we are very lucky to be in a group where like we're very safe be able to discuss things that come up. And a lot of people don't have that safety friendship circle and the consistency of our friendship circle.
Yeah.
And I think we are lucky we have a very consistent group. There's like psychological safety. But I also think, Thanksgiving is the start of...
It can bring up a lot of shit. And I think it was just... this episode is coming out on Thanksgiving Day and people are going to be with their families or their friends. And like you said, some feel psychologically safe, others don't. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also like thinking about this time as like apologies aren't a weakness, like they're about connection.
Yeah.
And that the holidays can trigger old wounds, but they allow opportunities for growth.
Oh my God.
I just true. Think about it. So like you're with your families right now and you're getting triggered. Like I think the advice I even give myself is like, yeah, what's the growth here? And like, what can I learn from this? And how can I confront my own wounds with them,
Yeah. And what are the boundary settings?
And what do I need? And maybe it isn't, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just being all together is a way to feel that,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's family is different. I don't know what people's scenarios are. I'm just thinking from my own, but
I think everyone needs to learn, not everyone, but I think understanding how much of your gravy cup needs to be full.
I was just about to say, maybe take a second helping of turkey and pie
and just be like, I must nap now.
Have a few drinks. Everything will be great.
Everything's fine. But also, who the hell thought of like stacking all of these holidays towards the end of a year?
It's crazy. For our Australian listeners, like right now it's Thanksgiving, which is the biggest holiday in the US. It's bigger than Christmas. Obviously not everyone celebrates Christmas. And then what is it? Less than 4 weeks afterwards, it's Christmas.
Yeah. And we also went Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You work is like a joke right now because you're trying to push out all this stuff and then it's like, oh, lol, we're closed for a week, or like everyone's out for a week, or even if they're not out, no one's doing shit on Thanksgiving.
Oof.
Maybe your work is yeah. We're not.
We're that.
But yeah, have a good Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy your families and your friends, and
enjoy your loved ones.
Say sorry to those that you should say sorry to. Love ya.